Welcome back to The Jump, and welcome into reigning NBA champion, Raptors president, Masai Ujiri.
Thank you. Hi, Rachel. How are you?
Hey, you earned that reigning champ title. I'm going to use it every chance I get.
I know. I liked hearing it. I haven't heard it in a while, so I like hearing it.
Masai, you have shown such leadership this past week. I've been bugging you for days to be on the show because I just think you have such an interesting perspective. You were born in England. You grew up in Nigeria. You worked in America for so long. You are now working in Canada. So let's just start there. What is your view of what's happening in the U.S. right now as someone who has lived here, but also comes from somewhere else?
Yeah, it's really interesting. My kids are American and Canadian. I'm African, lived all over the world. And it's meant so much to me. So this really is painful. It's painful to see, Rachel, and seeing all what has transpired now. I am actually happy that we're talking about this. This is now becoming a conversation. So thank you for doing this, but we have to keep going, right? We have to keep talking about this because there is a problem. We were stuck in our houses and dealing with the pandemic, and then here comes this pandemic that has actually been a part of our lives for a long time, but people haven't been willing to really talk about. That pandemic is racism. For sure, we have to talk about this.
Absolutely. And it's talking about it, it's acting on it. I'm struck that the NBA, WNBA are leagues that, of course, profit off the work and talent of Black men and women. So what do you think the responsibility is for teams to act right now?
Well, for me, it's leaders. We have to speak, and specifically white leaders. They have to speak, they have to. And now we have to call it out as it is. If you see a problem, if you see something, how are you dealing with it in your organization? How are you dealing with it outward? Let's come and talk. Let's not hide anymore behind all of this, because racism is real. It's been there. Let's talk about it now. And that's the difficult part.
You mentioned writing the op-ed that was for the Toronto Globe and Mail, and it addressed your own experience with racism during the finals. You said that you can't write about this issue without acknowledging what happened in June. And I want to read yourself back to you. You said, quote, "Our team had just won the NBA championship, and I was rushing to get on the court to celebrate. I was physically stopped by a police officer, and the confrontation turned nasty. There's a lawsuit that's still before the courts. He is suing me, so I can't say too much. But I will say this, if I was another team president heading for the court, a white team president, would he have been stopped by that officer? I have wondered that," quote. So I'm not going to get you into trouble here in terms of the lawsuit, but I really have wondered, Masai, what that experience was like for you in that moment of your greatest professional accomplishment. It had to be colored by an exchange like that.
Two things, Rachel. The first thing is when he physically stopped me. When that altercation, I honestly did not think racism at the time. All I'm trying to do is get on the court and go be with my family, the people that I've won a championship with. That was the moment. The second thing is, this is totally irrelevant even now when I compare. It's not comparable. Somebody lost his life. Imagine somebody lost his life. I can't even, when I think about us, humanity, okay? Us as people. Rachel, we have to figure out a way in every single country. We have to teach humanity in kindergarten, somewhere, somehow, all of us, because when I look at that guy kneeling on George, and those three guys actually watching, forget you are police, forget you are the law, okay? You as a human being, you should be able to say, you know what, stop. This guy is bleeding from his nose, he's peeing on himself. It's enough, please. That's humanity. That's we as human beings. How many of these incidents are not captured on video? That's how I feel. How many how many people that don't have the privilege, they don't have it, it's not seen. It will never be seen. The story will never be told. Can you imagine how many people go through this? Like I happen to be on TV because of my position in sports and the NBA final, so, and that's why I say, honestly, Rachel, now is time for us to speak, and now is time for all races to speak and to speak to each other and to have this conversation with each other. Because if we don't, this cycle will continue. Something is going to happen in June, something will happen in September, and we'll come and we'll be talking about Kaepernick, and we'll be talking about this, and we'll be talking about no. This is a time. Let's sit down and have these honest conversations now in every single organization. Step up, let everybody step up, okay, and do it. Don't hide, don't run away. When people say racist stuff, point them out, call them out, okay? So now all these things that are going on now is a good time for us. We thank him for making this happen, so that we can speak about this.
That's why it's so important to hear your voice and have it reach so many people, Masai. And honestly, just seeing you do your job shows people an example, kids, what they can be, the level of respect that you should demand and deserve.